Smaller off-road capable caravans are becoming more popular with travellers who want to get off the beaten track and enjoy caravanning comforts along the way. I'm with Sean Noble from Goldstream Caravans, and we've got the 16-foot Goldstream Cutaway PopTop off-roader. Sean, how long has Goldstream been in operation?
We formed in 1993, traditionally just building camper trailers. Since then we've moved on to doing more pop-tops and full-size off-road caravans.
All that experience in building off-roaders has paid off. This Goldie is built to take on some serious off-road country.
The suspension we've got under this one here is the Vehicle Components Cruise Master suspension, which is a 2.6 tonne rated suspension. It's a trailing coiling arm suspension, which makes the ride a lot smoother than what it would be on traditional springs. So in the 20 years that we've been doing it, the terrain out in the Outback is quite severe, and we've seen a lot of damage being caused by the traditional spring, which is okay, but these guys have engineered this suspension to work in the Outback. With having the trailing arm suspension, there's no live axle, so you know where you're going to some of these tracks that you're hearing people are going to, which they're not serviced, so they don't have a grader going through them, so they're going to get these ruts and holes where this suspension here on the traditional beam axle, we're going to raise it approximately 150 millimetres, so it just gives you that a bit of clearance of getting in, and also with the articulating hitch, the van is going to follow the car and not work against it. The laminated galvanised floor is basically sealing the bottom of the van, so there is no exposed timber. So when you get out in the Outback and we've got the rocks throwing up and doing damage, which will happen out there, it's just protecting your investment.
The hitch on an off-roader is equally important.
The hitch on the front of this is a Highland Hitch, okay, which is your traditional 50mm ball fitting, okay, but the Highland Hitch is an articulating and pivoting hitch, which then is allowing you to get into those areas, creek crossings and some undulating land. So your traditional ball, where it only has 21 degrees of pivoting and not a lot of swivelling, it's giving the customer the chance of exploring the different spots.
And off-road vans need strength in the body of the van as well. How about the structural integrity of the Goldie?
We're using a timber Meranti frame, and what we're doing to reinforce the sidewalls in the caravan is we're using a double ply. So basically what it is, it's an inner and outer skin. The timber's going to let the van move and flex a little bit without fatiguing too much. With our furniture, we're using solid timbers, so we're not using any custom woods or MDFs. We're using solid timber throughout the whole van.
The dimensions of the Goldie add to its ability in the bush. That high clearance, the cutaway rear, and of course the width and height make it practical off-road.
The pop-top being a little bit narrower than your traditional caravan, and of course with your pop-top being of course a little bit lower in the height, is going to help you get into some areas that traditionally a bigger caravan just won't do.
Now the trade-off with off-road vans comes down to space. A van that needs to sneak into the back blocks along rough, winding roads needs to be small enough to work around and under trees and so on. Yet you've made the most of the internal space to produce a very comfortable caravan, complete with ensuite. And it can be towed by a mid-sized four-wheel drive.
There's more and more cars that they can tow, but we've got limitations on downbore weight, so we've had to make the van smaller with more gear in it. So this one here with a 16-footer is coming in as a tear weight under 2 tonne, which is then fitting more of the European-based four-wheel drive cars. Mid-range, where you've got your Prados, which have a loaded weight of 2.5 tonne, so we're back in the market share where we were missing out before. As we go bigger into the bigger caravans, which these smaller mid-range cars just can't tow.
Okay, so we have a very comfortable little caravan with a queen bed, dinette, kitchen and a shower toilet. In fact, all the comforts of a larger van. But can we stay out on that remote river somewhere for a while when the fish are biting? What about independent camping ability in the Goldie?
We've got 280 litre tanks, so we've got 160 litres on board. We've then got a capability of running some auxiliary water storage on the back, which is 220 litres. We also have got what's called a 12-volt battery management system, so all the lights, the range hood, 12-volt water pumps, all running from the battery, so trying to make you as self-sufficient as possible when you're in the outback. In the case where we're putting antennas and extra solar panels on the roof where, yes, there is more weight, we will then upgrade the strut Newton, which will then accommodate the lifting of the unit.
And what about options?
The evolution of LED lighting is for 2012 with our off-road units. We will be making them basically standard due to the fact that the consumption with LED is quite a lot less than your conventional halogen or fluoro type lighting. There's a bit of a saying, you can never have enough power and enough water, so we're finding with people now that with the combination of the LED lighting, solar panels on the roof, this particular one's got an 80-watt solar panel which is plumbed directly to the battery, which is, while we're in the sunlight of course, is recharging the battery at all times. It then has a Anderson plug which is directly plumbed back to the back of the vehicle, so while you're moving on from spot to spot, it will also recharge battery. And the other thing is we're now doing generator boxes, and so they can house their generator on the front. So in the case of there's bad weather for a particular amount of time, they can start the generator up and of course recharge the battery through the 240 volt Jenny.
When it comes to those roads that are listed on Topo Maps as tracked vehicular earth, you need a caravan that can handle the rough stuff. And the Goldstream Cutaway PopTop off-road 16-footer can do the job and take you there in comfort.